All right, we've got an epic 2v2 for you here today, guys. Got some Greenskins, got some Beastmen. Oh, you already can see those those rock lobbers going to town. Some Dwarfs and some Vampire counts in a great 2v2. And do let me know here, guys, after this cast, if you heard some noise distortion. I just got a new fancy mount here, so let's see how it goes. But let's kind of go over our teams here real quick. We have a really strong line of gore herds. Predominantly really good here against the vampire counts. Going to be able to break up those warriors real hard and fast, like some Bestigors on the side here, as well as some in the center, with a Morgur Shadowgrave and a lovely Bray Shaman of Beasts, followed by a kind of nice supporting flanking line here of, I believe it's 2 Minotaurs with great weapons. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 Minotaur with great weapons, and the other 2 all standard-ish. Then on the, not the Greenskins, but actually I can't even remember the name of them. Crooked Moon, whatever they are. Skarsnik's faction. We've got some Black Orcs here. Good little solid front line of them. They're going to be great up against a lot of these Dawi, depending on how they kitted their army out. With some Savage Orcs on the flanks here as well. And then a nice Gobbo firing line, 2 Night Goblin Archers with the trusty Rusty Arrows. Can't go wrong with them. And a backline of Nasty Skulkers, as well as some on the flank over here. But they did go with, it was Wurzog? Oh no, just an Orc War Boss on a Wyvern as well, and then the Deaf Creepers, and then another unit of Mogrub's Mangy Marauders. Now, with our Dwarf faction, and I gotta get this quick here because we want to get to the actual charge, we got a nice strong center line of Longbeards, which is always really strong here, just Dwarf Warriors as well, and then 2 units of Longbeards with great weapons. Then in the back, we've got some Equine Miners, which I actually don't see very often. In fact, I usually see them as kind of like a front line here, being used to kind of break up the initial charge. And then we've got some units of Quarrelers, which is an interesting choice. Don't see them very often as well. And then some Ulthar's Raiders, which are going to really be able to put down any bigger targets like that giant up there. And some Organ Guns in the back, and then 2 units of Slayers, one being the Dragonback Slayers. So a lot of really good backline here, a lot of good backline support with a very strong front line as well, using 1 Thane, 1 Runesmith, and then Ungrim Iron Fist himself, the Slayer King. And then for our vampire counts, we've got 2 units of Skeleton Warriors with 2 units of flanking Spearmen, then 3 units of Graveguard, one of them obviously being the Sternsmen. You can't leave home without them. Vladi Dottie himself, look at that nose. Michael Jackson holding it in tight with us. And we've got 2 Unholy Lodestones, or no, just 2 Necromancers, sorry. And then 2 units of Crypt Horrors. But then we also have some cool Dire Pack, and then some great Blood Knights. Now, we already know that this little kind of forest engagement has ended. There wasn't a big battle there to be had, but we can kind of see that these armies are going to clash in a very picturesque Lord of the Rings-esque fashion. Let's get to the goods here. Starting off with our first big charge of the day. Oh yeah, get those Longbeards, Savage Orcs leaping in for the kill there. Ooh. God, look at that. Blood and gore everywhere. Those stone axes against that shiny armor. Not going to go well here, Bob. Let's see how it plans out for our Greenskin and our Dwarf player. We have some archers going across the line, killing some more orcs. We have the Beastmen line coming to the fore all the way into the undead hordes here. Oh, man, I can't wait until us to get these Tomb King charges going on. Oh, going in for the linebacker charge up deep. Oh, leap and a stroke and a miss. Hello, nipples. Got the rest of the line starting to make way here. A nice big pocket opening up with the Dwarfs, which could spell could be pretty dangerous here. And our little giant here is really kind of looking worse for the wear. He's already starting to get a lot of range damage from the Organ Guns, from the Quarrelers. A lot going out here. Got the Black Orcs charging into these Longbeards as well. Axes coming all over the place from the Ulthar's Raiders. Ooh. You can see already this is looking to be a real strong, real great center kind of field of battle here. There's a really strong line. There's not a bunch of mismatched skirmishes and the such. It's all pretty, for the most part, very, very, very beautiful, very cinematic. Now, like I was saying, look at that giant just being hit with Ulthar's Raiders, Organ Guns, Quarrelers. The Ulthar Raiders probably have the 1 debuff on them that makes it so that they're going to be taking a lot more damage here. You can see that this giant is being brought down so hard and fast, but combined might of all this firepower. You have the Quarrelers also being hit really hard by the Rusty Arrows. The Rusty Arrows should not be, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh shit, they're already going into those organ guns as well, but should not be forgotten. They can really do quite a bit of damage with their ability to sunder armor here. Let's bring them up. Sunder armor and poison, so they're going to be pretty, or at least their melee attack is poison, but they're going to be pretty dangerous here because that armor sundering is going to make all of your units that do have armor a little bit more easy to break right on open. But we do have some Chaos Spawn coming over here. We have a flank of Minotaurs coming into the side of this Vampire Count's army. That's going to be pretty huge here because they're going to be able to eat up a lot of that infantry fast, especially with those great weapon units who can really smack apart those Crypt Horrors real down and dirty like. They owe them money and they're gonna get that money. Bitch, better have my money. We have Morgur and Vlad von Karstein, not necessarily dueling, but in the thick of things. Some Chaos Spawn summoned into these Necromancers and the Graveguard here as well. Let's get a good feel. I really have to keep slowing this down because it is such a pretty visceral battle. But it's important to really kind of get all the little nuances here. Our Giant has been felled. If I can find out where that huge Lummox's corpse is. Aha! It's hard to miss, right? In fact, in the tabletop, you could actually have a felled giant as an obstruction that you used to place down in some of the earlier editions. But the Rusty Arrows are kind of working piecemeal through the archery of the Dwarfs. You can see they've already put down quite a few Quarrelers right here, and now they're switching target to another unit of Quarrelers. But these Ulthar's Raiders are shooting in real deep on this Orc War Boss, and that's pretty vicious because those great weapons and those their actual native ability to bring down the resistance or making it so they take actually more range damage is going to be pretty hefty as well here. That AP characteristic is going to be real great against the Wyvern. Oh man, look at those little Ekron miners going to town as well. But let's take a look at how, and really this is really the real dicey one, right? There's so much going on here. We've got a lot of blob action kind of going on right here with the Beastmen as well. You can see that the Spearmen, or the Skeletons as a whole, are really starting to crumble, quite literally. With their Minotaurs in the background here, really starting to put the herd on. Got some Nasty Skulkers coming in to put the herd on the Graveguard as well. Nasty Skulkers do have AP. They're the very first unit you can get with the Greenskins that do have that AP characteristic, allowing you to fight some of the heavily armored dwarfs that you do encounter in the Greenskin campaign. But again, look at those Rusty Arrows putting into those Quarrelers, guys. Like, holy crap. The Quarrelers just wavering, damage sustained, quite tired. Don't even know if they should put their shields up or not. But a good relief here from the Dwarf Warriors getting onto those Rusty Arrows is going to really help them out here, or at least their back line a lot, because they're going to stop having that constant fire from the Gobbo firing line. You can see that unit of Longbeards and Savage Orcs is going off against, or I'm sorry, unit of Savage Orcs and Goreherd are going off against some Longbeards here. Both don't have AP, so the Longbeards are going to be able to really kind of sustain a lot longer than otherwise. And the Chaos Spawn and Best of Gore herds really smashing apart this Crypt Horror and Skeleton Spearman army. Getting joined in with some more Gore herds as well. Look at this. Look at this just dicey fight in the center. Initially, you know, when I was first watching this, I was thinking, oh man, the Black Horse got it. They're just crushing across the line. It's just Dwarf Warriors here. But as this fight really starts to progress, we can kind of see, take a look here, 40 left on this Black Orc. 55 left on this Black Orc in really good health, but then you got these Longbeards here that are going to be able to do quite a bit of damage to those Black Orcs. So they are that AP characteristic as well. I believe that another unit of Black Orcs is right there, 49. I was looking for the third one, but they're really not doing as well as I thought they would be doing against the kind of matchups that they had. They did have quite a bit coming at them as far as range damage goes. Organ guns not to be toiled with lightly. We can see here the Nasty Skulkers are starting to break in the back line. Bray Shaman just kind of having a chit chat with his Necromancer pal. What are your thoughts on Beast Magic? Oh, I'm a Necromancer guy myself. Oh, Death Magic, huh? Not my cup of tea. We can see we got Vlad here and Morgur here, bringing down this Necromancer. That's going to be pretty huge for them. Oh, ho, ho, ho. As well as that cart that was going to help. That was helping out that line. Always helps to line out, you know. You always want those corpse cart. Well, Unholy Lodestone's not one I'm very familiar with using, but the corpse cart is a must in any Vampire Count army. But you can see that front line of skeletons has been, for the most part, really disjointed here. The Blood Knights, and I'm sorry I haven't been able to focus so much on them, but the Blood Knights have been getting charge after charge here onto the Minotaurs, who are no longer in good health, as you can quite see. With the Spearmen being the only anti-large unit in the army outside of those Blood Knights, it's been very integral for them to get their charges off and really smash apart those larger units in the Beastmen army. We'll get some more of those charges in, I swear. Get some Graveguard here. The Sternsmen in very good health here, being supported by a single Necromancer. So that's pretty dangerous here. We have this really strong blob here, right? But this blob is no match. The combined might of those Crypt Horrors. Got a lot of Bestigors here, a lot of damage coming out of them. But you do have some gentlemen from the back. You can really see here that a lot of it's really just Crypt Horrors here fighting off against all these Bestigors, and you're having some relief come in from these lovely Blood Knights, the lovely Blood Dragon Vampires coming to their aid. Bit of a hammer and anvil action. Real great micro here. Was able to get his Blood Knights all the way around the field and into this really hard hammer and anvil. The hammer, of course, being the Blood Knights against the anvil of Crypt Horrors, which is a real strong call here. And you have what would have been a very outmatched fight in Bestigor herd against pretty effectively one unit of Crypt Horrors and just these Longbeards, is now very heavily shifting in the favor of the undead. Lottie Dottie being really focused down here by a combined might of everything against the Beastmen have to bring to bear. Some Organ Gunners, their guns completely destroyed. Gonna get into that nasty Skulker line. Orc Warboss coming in here as well. Man, see that all Bestigors and Gores completely broken now. All because of the might of that those Blood Knights, man. Those Blood Knights are probably the VIPs of this fight right now, I'd say. They've, and unfortunately, again, we missed their charge into the Minotaurs. I apologize for that. But they have really reaped a tally of foes against the larger targets in the army. Crypt Horrors eating up some more Gore herds. Uh-oh, Orc Warboss coming in, right on those Sternsmen. But might be in the wrong neighborhood with those Blood Knights so close. We'll see. We can also see over here that it's really just this terrible back and forth, this cat and mouse game with the remaining Greenskin army and the Beastmen army playing up against this Thane, this almost full health Ungrim, as well as a nice Runesmith here. Orc Warboss taking off. The Blood Knights were kind of starting to get around him. We do have this Bray Shaman in a bad neighborhood as well. You know, you don't want to be smack dab between some Crypt Horrors and some Blood Knights when they come a-stomping, but the Orc Warboss does come to their aid, and the might of Lottie Dottie is starting to falter. The Von Karstein ring is activated, so he's getting quite a bit of damage resistance, but it might not be enough for the combined army around him. I mean, even the Blood Knights are starting to finally fall short of their what the hell am I trying to say? The thing that keeps them... Oh, Oath! Yes, Oath to protect Von Karstein. But they come back quickly because they're Blood Knights, because they're vampires. They don't give a shit about anything. And a big battle royale kind of kicking out here. The big cat and mouse game between the Greenskins and the Orcs kind of going back and forth, quick, constant ebb and flow here as units kind of come back from fleeing, then come back. See, they were charging them, now they're coming right back at them. Up the hill, down the hill, down the hill, up the hill. Got these Death Creepers coming in there. Oh, look at these little disgusting forest goblins. Goblins are the most seedy of all races, next to the Skaven. Ungrim Iron Fist is only as tall as his head brush. Vlad von Karstein finally meets his end at the might of Morgor and the Orc Warboss, being felled by such a magic beast and another magic beastman. Orc Warboss coming in here, very brave target though. You know, that Ungrim Iron Fist is no slouch when it comes to large targets, but he's kind of Orc Warboss is using his terror to his advantage with the constant kind of cycle charging he's got going on. Got our Runesmith, who has completely shattered and is routing off the table now as well. It's pretty much just down to Ungrim and a small handful of Dwarfs here. Let's get in there. Let's get in there. You've got Slayers covered in gore, Black Orcs covered in green gore. The Orc Warboss kind of going all over the place, trying to get those cycle charges in. You still have quite a bit of Beastmen on the table too. This is not looking very good for our dwarf friends here. The Dawe do not fare well with their vampire allies completely routed off the table and or dead. Vlad von Karstein and marinating the ground like right around there somewhere. Yeah, he's over here. We all know he's over there. Ungrim Iron Fist just kind of getting circle beat now, circle jerked by a ton of orcs here. Beastmen, plenty. Got the orc war boss in there, checking big old bites out of that head brush. And I think that spells the end for the Dawe here. A real great fight, guys, here. Really enjoyed this one. A Pyrrhic victory indeed. It was really down to the wire almost the entire fight, right? A constant ebb and flow back and forth with the Greenskins and with the Dwarfs. You had a lot of really great charges by Gimme Toro and his Blood Knights, who were able to take what was at one point a very one-sided fight. I think that the initial engagement of the Beastmen into the vampire counts was very in the Beastmen favor. They had smashed into the line. They had a really good strong flank from these Minotaurs at 47, 74, and 50 kills. But really, let's bring up Gimme Toro's army here. 92 kills on those Blood Knights, which were almost all entirely large models. So they're really able to act as a hammer and anvil. And that one little close-up that we got, smashing behind those, or smashing in front of the Crypt Horrors to help them up against the Bestigors and 2 units of Gores, was really great charge there. But you can see the Bestigors, 102, 209, and 90 kills. A lot of that was against skeletons, so take that with a grain of salt as it is, but still, it is putting on a lot of damage for their point investment and really getting a lot back in return. But the Gores themselves, too, 30, 48, 54, 46, 39, they're a very low-cost unit that can really pour out a lot of damage against the right target. But still, I really liked how the Bray Shaman Beast on his chariot was getting in and out of there. 116 kills is not too shabby for a solo charioteer. So I really think Cetra's army here with the Beastmen was a very good choice. And Gimme Toro's army was also a pretty crazy one as well. 81 and 129 kills with those Graveguard. They're able to dish out quite a bit of damage. But really, the VIP almost of the whole game goes to those Blood Knights. Let's take a look at Rising Chaos and Paul's army here. Rising Chaos had quite a few nasty skulkers here. He did take quite a good comp too, I think. 2 units of Savage Orcs and then 3 units of Black Orcs. 110, 48, and 119 kills on them. A pretty impressive tally. 85 of those Rusty Arrows. That Gobbo firing line really able to utilize that Sundering armor that comes out of the Rusty Arrows. Really enables them to bring down these heavily armored targets. Lo and behold, though, the lowly giant only got a whopping 9 kills as the organ gun and the might of the Ulthar's Raiders brought it to bear quite quickly. I mean, that thing was killed almost in the first minute of combat here. But the Orc War Boss was chewing things up at 64 kills. And then we have the really good use of the nasty skulkers. He was able to get them in the back line a lot on both sides of the army, so racking up 68 and 49 kills respectively on them. But taking a look at Paul's army, you can really see that those Quarrelers didn't get a ton of damage out, but they still got a good amount when it comes to the 39 on 1 and the 46 on those Ulthar Raiders. They were probably able to do a lot more damage to the heavily armored targets like the Black Orc, especially that one that only got 48 kills. And those organ guns are always going to be a really great choice, especially right now. They can really pour out quite a bit of damage and very accurate damage too. But we can take a look at his front line itself. I'm surprised though, to see Equine Miners getting 41 kills. I don't really think of oh yeah, how am I going to squeeze these Dwarf Miners into my list? I never think that. And it's really good to see them being used in an army like this that has a lot of harder targets and being put to good use here. But 107 and 78 kills from the Longbeards, and then a whopping 87 and 150 on the Dragonback Slayers. Really able to both protect the backline and take down some of those larger models, i.e. the Giant. And you can't forget the large head brush himself, the Dawi King, Ungrim Iron Fist, racking up a great 67 kills. But this is honestly probably one of the most epic 2v2s I've been a part of since Total War Warhammer 2 launched. And it was really great to be able to cast this on the stream as well as do it separately here. So if you guys see Paul, Gimme Toro, Rising Chaos, or Cetra the Imperishable out and about on the comment section, tell him, hey, congratulations on an amazing 2v2. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this here today. We got a lot of stuff coming out this week as well. So I'm going to do a lot more 2v2s and 1v1s, going to do a little more battle casts since it's kind of a short week and I'm pretty busy here. But I do have a video coming out with a Warhammer 40,000 Primarch, Magnus the Red. And I do think I'm going to be doing a video on the Tomb King's various settlements, and so many of you guys liked that and appreciated that. But we are, what is it? So it's the 26th, 27th. We're almost a full month out, a little bit less than a full month out from the Mighty Tomb King launch. Hopefully we'll get some early access streams going of that. But thanks for watching here today, guys. If you do celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a Merry Christmas, and with the New Year's coming up, have a Happy New Year. If you're not with us on the, I'll probably do some sort of New Year's stream or something of that sort. But thanks for watching here today, guys. Have a good one and take care.